My name is JF Derry. I'm one of the authors for the 26 Treasures programme here at the National Museum of Scotland. This is Stuart Allan, one of the senior curator here at the museum, who we met to talk about Daniel Laidlaw's Victoria Cross, which is the piece that I wrote for the programme. And one of the most amazing things that I think I discovered about Laidlaw's Victoria Cross whilst writing this piece was the way the Victoria Cross was introduced to bring both men from all the ranks together, so that anyone within the army structure could win the medal.
Yeah, the idea that gallantry was something that was common to all men, and it's part of the sense that the army was recognising individuals, that it wasn't just about the officers and their numbers, that everyone was involved in this imperial endeavour together. So there was that kind of moral.
But there was a duty that bonded men, and that's the most striking thing that's maybe different to a modern society, is this kind of communal sense of honour through duty and glory through being dutiful and loyal. But the thing that you picked up about my piece was the evenness of approach. That I do identify individuals, not just it was not a piece about Daniel Laidlaw essentially, but his colleagues in arms.
Yeah, that's something that I really liked about what you did, because I always felt with the story of this particular award, there was a very strong sense that he was being recognised for the help that he had given to others, and younger men. This is the thing. He was a kind of old hand.
Yes. And he was 43 or something.
I think he was pushing 40.
40. Okay.
So not that old. But alongside these young guys.
The average of the fatalities on that day was 26, which is a really loathsome kind of coincidence for this programme. Really.
So faced with fighting for the first time, these young volunteers. It's going badly, and they're wavering, and he's the guy who stands up and helps them. So I like that connection between his name and all these other names.
And the thing that you really importantly mentioned there is the volunteers. These were the first volunteering conscripts, Kitchener's army, as a response to the dwindling numbers of professional soldiers that had entered the war.
That's right. So the action, the Battle of Lewes, was really the first occasion where this new type of soldier was fighting en masse, and of course Lewes turned into an action with enormous casualties.
Yes.
So they hit home very strongly, particularly in Scotland, because of the divisions that were fighting that day. So Laidlaw was something that emerged out of a tragedy in many ways, it seems.
And these impacts were felt very locally, because during those days conscripts came together from one village, one town, and so when there were major losses, that was a lot of neighbours and communities that were hit by the same engagement.
Well, certainly in the broadest sense, on this day you've got two enormous formations of Scottish troops. So the Battle of Lewes has rather disappeared from the story of the popular memory of the First World War, because things happened, the song came later and so on. But this thing really hit in Scotland because of the circumstances, and I think it was, if anyone was under any illusions about the nature of the conflict they were in, then by Lewes in September 1915 that had come to an end.
Well, it's a massively important story to remember and to keep alive in any way we can. So I'm very honoured to have written on the piece, and thank you for all your help on it.
Well, thank you for doing it, because I think it's ingenious what you've done, and also something that will draw the eye in an exhibition. I mean, you have your supporting piece of writing, but the design of the names and the cross is something that people will look at, and it will make them think about the object and have another angle on it from the ones that we've
Well, the response has been amazing. The people are actually crying when they've seen the piece. So let's hope your visitors really appreciate it as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks.